The date is March 29, 1987. The Pontiac Silverdome in Michigan is electrified, a cauldron of energy filled with over 93,000 roaring fans. This is WrestleMania 3, a night that will become a seminal moment in the annals of professional wrestling history. At the center of it all is Hulk Hogan, the charismatic World Wrestling Federation champion, who strides into the ring like a gladiator entering the Colosseum. Across from him stands a literal giant. The stakes could not be higher. Hogan, the embodiment of wrestling's golden era, versus André, the mythic figure whose very presence commands awe. When Hogan does the unthinkable, lifting the 520-pound André onto his shoulders and slamming him to the mat, the collective gasp of the crowd echoes for eternity. This moment, etched into the memories of millions, is more than a triumph. It's a coronation. Hulk Hogan is not merely a wrestler, he is a phenomenon. Draped in red and yellow, cupping his ear to the crowd's adulation, Hogan was the ultimate hero. His appeal transcended the ring. He became a pop culture icon, appearing in movies, on talk shows, and even as an action figure cherished by children across America. The Federation, under Vince McMahon's shrewd guidance, leveraged Hogan's star power to redefine professional wrestling, transforming it from a regional spectacle into a global entertainment empire. Hogan wasn't just the face of wrestling, he was its beating heart. But empires, no matter how grand, can crumble. Decades later, the narrative around Hulk Hogan has shifted dramatically. Once revered as the ultimate good guy, he has become a divisive figure. His name, synonymous with wrestling's boom period, is now linked to controversy. The moment that rocked his legacy to its core came in 2015, when a leaked recording revealed Hogan using racist language. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Sponsors distanced themselves, and his status as a hero to millions was irrevocably damaged. Time has not healed these wounds. On January 6, 2025, when Hogan made an appearance at Netflix's Monday Night Raw, he was met with boos from a new generation of fans. A stark reminder that redemption, if it ever comes, remains elusive. Has Hulk Hogan, the man who once stood as the pinnacle of wrestling's golden age, destroyed his own legacy? To understand Hogan's rise and fall, we must start at the beginning. Terry Gene Bollea was born on August 11, 1953, in Augusta, Georgia. The youngest of two boys, he grew up in Tampa, Florida, a city steeped in wrestling tradition. As a child, Bollea was captivated by the larger-than-life characters he saw in professional wrestling, but his first love was music. A talented bass guitarist, Bollea played in local bands and dreamed of becoming a rock star. Fate, however, had other plans. Towering at 6 feet 7 inches and weighing over 300 pounds, Bollea's imposing physique caught the attention of Jack and Gerald Briscoe, two wrestling legends who saw his potential. They introduced him to Hiro Matsuda, a ruthless trainer infamous for testing his trainees by breaking their spirit and sometimes their bones. Matsuda did exactly that, snapping Bollea's leg in their first session, but Bollea returned, proving his resilience and earning Matsuda's respect. The transformation into Hulk Hogan began in the late 1970s during Bollea's time in the wrestling territories. His big break came when he joined the World Wrestling Federation in 1979. Originally a heel, Hogan's charisma was undeniable. Fans began to cheer for him, even when he played the antagonist. Vince McMahon Sr., who ran the federation at the time, saw promise in Hogan but balked when Hogan took a role in Sylvester Stallone's Rocky III without permission. The fallout led to Hogan's departure, but his brief stint in Hollywood provided him with invaluable mainstream exposure. Hogan's second act with the federation began in 1983 under Vince McMahon Jr., who had taken over the company from his father. McMahon envisioned a national wrestling promotion, a vision that required a larger-than-life star. Hogan's return coincided with a cultural moment ripe for transformation. Cable television was expanding, pay-per-view was emerging, and McMahon's gamble to market wrestling as entertainment rather than sport would pay off in spades. In January of 1984, Hulk Hogan cemented his babyface status by rescuing Bob Backlund from a wild Samoan's ambush on Championship Wrestling. The expedited storyline paved the way for Hogan's meteoric rise, culminating in his January 23rd victory over the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden to claim his first World Heavyweight Championship, famously breaking the camel clutch to do so. His subsequent matches against Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, and King Kong Bundy drew millions of viewers. WrestleMania 1 in 1985 proclaimed Hogan's status as a cultural icon. The event, a cross-promotion of wrestling and celebrity culture, featured Hogan teaming with Mr. T in the main event. It was a massive success, propelling the Federation into mainstream consciousness, and Hogan's career began to soar. His iconic yellow and red ring gear and theatrical entrances, complete with shirt-tearing, flexing, and exaggerated crowd engagement, became synonymous with his persona. His catchphrase, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you," became a rallying cry for fans. His matches often followed the near-predictable formula of steady offense, a dramatic downturn, and a seemingly inevitable defeat, only for Hogan to hulk up, channeling audience energy to become impervious to attacks. His finishing sequence, typically involving the big boot and leg drop, ensured victory, but was adapted to opponents, such as body-slamming giants in climactic moments. He headlined WrestleMania after WrestleMania, defending his title against a who's who of challengers, including André the Giant, Randy Macho Man Savage, and the Ultimate Warrior. Each feud was a carefully orchestrated drama, with Hogan always emerging as the larger-than-life hero. But success often comes at a cost. Behind the scenes, Hogan's popularity bred resentment among his peers. Stories of backstage politicking began to emerge. Hogan, they said, used his influence to bury other wrestlers, ensuring he remained the top star. His refusal to lose cleanly, without interference or controversy, earned him the ire of colleagues who felt he stifled their opportunities. Yet, for the fans, none of this mattered. Hogan's appeal was untouchable. But by the early 1990s, the cracks in Hulkamania began to show. The steroid scandal that engulfed the Federation implicated Hogan, tarnishing his all-American image. In 1993, Hogan left for World Championship Wrestling, marking the end of an era. His debut was met with fanfare, but it was his 1996 heel turn that became the defining moment of his second career act. Joining the villainous New World Order, Hogan shed his red and yellow persona for black and white, becoming Hollywood Hogan. The move revitalized his career and helped his new promotion dominate the wrestling ratings war against the Federation for 83 consecutive weeks. Hogan's ability to reinvent himself showcased his adaptability, but it also revealed his willingness to blur the lines between character and self. The late 1990s saw the decline of WCW, and Hogan returned to the WWF in 2002. His reception was a testament to his enduring legacy. Fans who had grown up idolizing him welcomed him back with open arms. At WrestleMania 18, Hogan faced The Rock in a match that epitomized the clash of generations. The crowd's thunderous reaction to Hogan's performance proved that even after decades, he could still command the grandest stage. Yet Hogan's return to the limelight was not without complications. As his wrestling appearances waned, his personal life became fodder for tabloids. A messy divorce, family scandals, and financial troubles chipped away at the image of the invincible hero. The revelation of his racist remarks in 2015 was a devastating blow. For many fans, it was more than a lapse in judgment. It was a betrayal of the values Hogan had professed throughout his career. His apology, while sincere to some, rang hollow to others. The WWE reinstated him in 2018, but the damage to his reputation was irreversible. Today, Hulk Hogan occupies a precarious place in wrestling's history. His contributions to the industry are undeniable. Without Hogan, the Federation's rise to prominence in the 1980s might not have been possible. His charisma, work ethic, and connection with fans set the standard for what a wrestling superstar could be. Yet his controversies cast a long shadow. For every fan who remembers the hero of WrestleMania 3, there is another who cannot forget the man behind the character. Adding fuel to the fire, Hogan's controversial political views and outspoken support for Donald Trump could also be contributing to the animosity directed his way. Nevertheless, the boos that greeted Hogan at Netflix's Monday Night Raw in January 2025 were not just a repudiation of his actions, but a reflection of how society has evolved. Wrestling fans, once content to separate the performer from the person, now demand accountability. In an era where inclusivity and integrity matter more than ever, Hogan's past is a glaring blemish. The question remains, can his legacy be salvaged? For Hulk Hogan, the man who once carried an industry on his broad shoulders, The weight of his mistakes may be the heaviest burden of all. Thank you for watching.